president to solicit foreign interference in our election?
Well, I don't know that has been actually proven. You know, that's all in dispute.
We've seen the president in public ask the Ukrainians to get involved, ask the Chinese to get involved.
Well, those are just statements political. They make them all the time.
If President Obama was calling Hong Kong or calling governments asking about you and your business career, would that be a legitimate use of presidential power?
That's a totally improper characterization.
When it comes to Donald Trump, Nancy Pelosi may pray for him privately, but she's orchestrated the Church of Holy Hell.
Woo! Donald Trump's Republican lackeys were out in force on the other Sunday shows this morning, once again trying to defend his conduct as his impeachment trial gets underway this week. But it's hard to challenge the facts of the case, and that's apparently just fine by Alan Dershowitz, a member of Trump's legal defense team, who says even if all the allegations are true, it still does not rise to an impeachable offense. Joining me now, civil trial and criminal defense attorney Midwin Charles, Tiffany Cross of the Beat DC, and David Korn of Mother Jones, who is the author of Russian Roulette. All right, let's play Dershowitz. Alan Dershowitz, who kind of is a lawyer, and then he's kind of isn't a lawyer, and but he's going to be there. So here he is, and this is his argument for Trump.
I have a limited role in the case. I'm only in the case as of counsel on the constitutional criteria for impeachment. I'm not involved in the strategic decisions about witnesses or facts. You needed proof of an actual crime. It needn't be a statutory crime, but it has to be criminal behavior, criminal in nature.
Even if everything that is alleged by the House managers is proven or taken as true, they would not rise to the level of an impeachable offense.
All right, Midwin, I'm going to go to you first. Have you ever had a case in which you were representing someone, kind of? And also, is it in your, as an attorney, do you agree with the idea that the only thing that you can impeach for is an actual crime, not crimes and crimes or other misdemeanors, high crimes, misdemeanors?
No, not at all. And if you look at the Constitution, it's very, very clear with respect to what you can impeach someone on. But with respect to how I run my practice, I don't understand why it is that Alan Dershowitz, who has appeared many times and said that he's represented a variety of different people, such as Jeffrey Epstein, I don't understand why he would be wanting to sort of have this bifurcated or weird approach with representing the president. Usually when a client comes to you and they want you to represent them, what you do is you lay out how it is that you intend to represent them. And let me just say also, Joy, with respect to documents and witnesses not being able to appear before this Senate trial, I find it incredibly bizarre, because when my clients come to me and they have something they want to prove, they come with a list of 20 to 30 witnesses. They come with boxes of documents. I actually have to convince them to scale it back. Why? Because they want the truth told, but you don't see that happening here. So, you know, this is now almost a three-ring circus, and it's unfortunate. But like I've said before on your show many times, elect the clown, expect a circus. And when you just played all of those clips of elected officials, of Republicans, who are supposed to be representing their constituents, who take an oath to the Constitution, it is clear that they have not taken an oath to the Constitution, or they don't take it seriously. Rather, they have taken an oath to Donald Trump. And it's unfortunate. Yep. It's bad for our democracy.
Well, that is true. They have taken that latter oath. Here is a little more Alan Dershowitz. Let's play a little bit more of him on witnesses.
The one thing that's very clear is that if witnesses are permitted on one side, they have to be permitted on both sides. And if witnesses are permitted, it will delay the trial considerably, because the president will invoke executive privilege as to people like John Bolton, and that will have to go to the court, and we'll have to have a resolution of that before the trial continues.
I know he's a lawyer on TV, and technically you're not a lawyer, but John Bolton has already said he would testify. John Bolton has already said he would do it. So he's saying he'd have to go back to court, and that the only way that it could be permitted is if the other side could call Joe Biden, who's not relevant to the case.
Well, I'll start off, too, by saying if you read the Federalist Papers 65 by Alexander Hamilton, he describes impeachable offenses as abuse of public trust. So, and he also says that these offenses tend to be political in nature, and he put political in all caps. Yeah. So, you know, Dershowitz's argument that abuse of power is not impeachable or unconstitutional is something that he's sort of pulling out of thin air. But, you know, we have a situation here where it's really, we argue about witnesses, we argue about evidence, but what we're really doing, as you saw from those clips earlier, is arguing about reality. You have members of the Senate who won't even acknowledge that Trump said publicly to China, investigate Joe Biden, that he said, yes, I wanted Ukraine to investigate. They won't acknowledge that the GAO put out a report or a finding that he broke the law. They won't acknowledge that Stalin said it was a quid pro quo. Parnas said it was a shakedown. And there was a smoking gun that came out this week that they won't acknowledge. Giuliani's letter to Zelensky, president of Ukraine, saying, I am representing Trump in a private capacity for his personal interest. So it wasn't about anything public and dealing with corruption. He was after something for Trump privately, but Trump used his office to get it. I mean, it's a very clear-cut case. That's why Dershowitz is not arguing the facts. He's arguing this abstract notion.
It's very abstract. Here's Senator Dick Durbin, and this is his warning to his colleagues on the Republican side.
At this point, the Senate is on trial, and I hope at the end of the day enough Republican senators will understand history will find you. Make certain that you make a decision that you can live with in terms of our Constitution and your own professional career.
Tiffany, you've been a long time, covering the Capitol Hill and interacting with these political figures. They have seemed to make a decision that they all go in together. They all go down together with Trump. And I still remember Lindsey Graham saying, if we nominate Donald Trump, he will destroy the Republican Party and we will deserve
Old
it.
Lindsey Graham.
Previous Lindsey
exactly.
Graham. They seem to all have decided that that's okay.
Yeah, listen, first of all, bravo to the producers of AM Joy for stringing together those sound bites at the beginning, because that is so indicative of where we are now. They are literally on Earth 2. They are regurgitating ridiculous things. You really do feel like you're watching an SNL sketch. And I think this is why it's so important to press these senators and the media. Has anyone promised you or threatened you with anything in exchange for your blind allegiance to this president? Because what we are seeing is they, too, may be receiving foreign election interference. Again, bravo to the AM Joy team for highlighting that Ron DeSantis connection here. I mean, he has a string of text messages with Lev Parnas. We heard an awful lot about Hamilton tickets during that Florida gubernatorial race. Here we have him colluding with these two guys who look like they could be extras on season 2 of The Wire, and nobody's talking about it. I think this has to be something that we keep elevating. Who else? How many tentacles does this scandal have in the Senate or in the entire Republican Party? Quite frankly.
I mean, this is showing the deep rot throughout the Trump administration, the Trump era. And the Democrats thought, they made a miscalculation. They thought they had a really neat and easy impeachment case here. Just the Ukraine deal, it's much bigger.
It's much bigger than that. But I wish we had more time, but we have a special thing coming up. So we're going to end the segment here. Midwin Charles, Tiffany Cross, David Corn. Believe me, you will all thank me for this. Coming up at the top of the hour, Alex will have her moment of Maxine as Congresswoman Maxine Waters joins her live. And up next on AM Joy, you really want to stay with us. Go grab some coffee. The winner of Who Won the Week. ...